Once upon a time, there was a man who had been married to his wife for 15 years. They were happy and had two lovely daughters, aged 13 and 10. Everything seemed great until things started to feel strange. The man noticed that his wife became very attached to her phone. She started deleting saved passwords on their computer and would quickly end phone calls when he entered the room. Something didn't seem right. One day, when his wife said she was spending time with their daughters, he decided to follow her. To his surprise, he found her heading to a hotel to meet someone. It was a big shock, and he felt really sad. After crying for a while, he thought about getting back at the person his wife was meeting. He considered doing something mean, but then he decided to handle things in a better way. First, he wanted evidence, so he installed secret cameras and microphones in their home, while his wife was at work and the kids were at school. He carefully planned everything to find out the truth. Later, he suggested taking their daughters on a trip, giving him the chance to see if his wife and the other person would make a mistake. During this time, he also took care of the girls, cooked for them, and was actively involved in their lives. After the trip, he checked the recordings and discovered some hurtful things. His wife and the other person had said mean things about him, including sharing his secrets. It was really painful for him. The next day, when the kids were away, he showed his wife the video and told her that she needed to sign a separation agreement or the girls would learn about everything. The man was hurt, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He wanted to protect his daughters and make sure they understood what was happening. It was a difficult decision, but he hoped for a better future for his family. She got upset and went through different feelings like denying and getting angry. Eventually, she agreed to separate, and she left that evening after saying goodbye to the girls. I didn't want to upset the girls, so I didn't tell them everything. The man's decision to protect his daughters was unwavering. He had planned the next steps carefully. His wife, feeling remorseful, agreed to sign the separation agreement. It was a difficult moment for both of them, but they knew it was the only way forward. As the days passed, the man focused on creating a stable and loving environment for his daughters. He explained the situation to them in a gentle way, ensuring they understood that sometimes grown-ups face challenges too. The girls were hurt, but with their father's support, they began to heal. The man decided to seek legal advice to finalize the separation and custody arrangements. A compassionate lawyer helped him navigate through the process, ensuring the best interests of the children were prioritized. Meanwhile, the man's wife, reflecting on her choices, decided to address the underlying issues that led to her actions. She sought counseling to understand herself better and work towards personal growth. It was a tough journey, but she was determined to become a better person. The man, despite the pain, remained focused on providing a loving home for his daughters. He continued to be actively involved in their lives, offering comfort and guidance as they adjusted to the changes. The support from friends and family played a crucial role in helping the family move forward. As time passed, wounds began to heal, and the man's hope for a better future started to take shape. The journey was challenging, but the love and resilience of the family prevailed. And so this tale of heartbreak and healing continued, with the man and his daughters forging a new path towards happiness and understanding. Another story is here. While I was studying abroad in Costa Rica, I found myself in a rather unexpected situation when I stumbled upon a club rugby practice. Despite not being fluent in Spanish, I decided to give it a shot. I observed the drills the players were doing and, surprisingly, managed to copy them. In the process, I teamed up with one of the players who took the time to teach me the basics of rugby. To my amazement, I later discovered that this team was participating in the Latin American Club Rugby Championships. What made it even more astonishing was learning that the player I had partnered with was considered the best in all of Latin America. It was a classic case of blending and working exceptionally well, showcasing the power of adapting to unexpected situations and making the most out of opportunities that come your way. We did an outstanding job on the project, and upper management was extremely proud of our efforts. After our success, they organized a large group photograph, and I found myself right in the front, dead center. Following the photo session, there was a sign-in sheet where we had to provide our names and supervisors. I filled it out, grabbed some food to go, and headed out. Over the next few months, I received updates about the project through my email. To my surprise, I received an award that was delivered to my cubicle, recognizing my contribution. Additionally, I received a couple of certificates for accomplishments that I never even accomplished. Later, I was invited to a dinner a year later to celebrate the anniversary of the project launch. I chose not to attend. What made this whole experience even more amusing was the fact that when I was initially brought on board for my job, the department I was connected to didn't have any room. Consequently, I had to sit in a cubicle that belonged to another department. It was assumed by others that I belonged to that department, and no one ever questioned it. The most amusing part, however, was that the group photo we took was blown up and hung in the main lobby alongside other group photos. So, in perpetuity, I will be part of a group I was never officially part of, and I'm rather proud of it. Another story is the unplanned PUBG tournament at SSSU Gaming Expo. I attended the South by Southwest SXDO Gaming Expo in Austin, Texas, and stumbled upon an area filled with impressive gaming computers. Seeing others casually playing, I took a seat when a computer became available. Little did I know, it turned out to be a PUBG tournament, and I had unintentionally taken someone's seat. As the game progressed, a crowd gathered to watch over our shoulders, and an announcer started talking. The catch was, I had never played PUBG before. Despite this, I was now in a tournament setting. Reflecting on my life, although I am in my 20s, college-educated, have a full-time job in healthcare, serve as an officer in the military, own a home, and have a wife and kids, I'd often struggle to feel like the adult in the room. Even though I help out with my kids' Boy Scout troop, it feels peculiar when other kids approach me for assistance, expecting me to know how to navigate the complexities of adulthood. As part of the Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, we undertake a field training exercise, FTX, at a local military base. The exercise involves defending a simulated military base for an extended period. In the initial FTX experiences, I kept getting killed until I observed that some Marines were wearing face masks during the exercise. This year, I decided to take my own face mask, even though I was clearly not one of the Marines. Surprisingly, the face mask made them think twice before shooting me, and I managed to avoid at least 3 simulated deaths on patrol. It was a clever move, and I felt like I had successfully outsmarted the system. Another story is about the Taj Mahal visit and the coup strategy. During my visit to India in 2013, we went to the Taj Mahal. At that time, there were 2 different rates for entry, a lower rate for Indians and a higher rate for foreigners. The difference in rates was quite significant, approximately 20 pence for Indians and £7 for foreigners. My mom, being originally from India, knew how to blend in and got herself and me in at the lower rate. However, my dad and brother, who were not originally from India, ended up paying the higher rate. We reached the front of the Taj Mahal and realized there were 2 queues, one for those who had paid the lower rate, which was much longer, and another for those who had paid the higher rate, which was shorter. We had 2 lower rate tickets and 2 higher rate tickets among the 4 of us, and they were quite distinctive in color. My dad decided he wanted us all to try getting into the shorter queue using his and my brother's higher rate tickets. There was a security guy yelling at someone trying to jump into the shorter queue with lower rate tickets. My dad waved the 2 higher rate tickets in front of the security guy, who then assumed we belonged to the shorter queue and waved us through. Taking advantage of the situation, we entered the shorter queue and had a great time at the Taj Mahal. It was an unexpected twist that added a memorable experience to our visit. Next is of the unintentional infiltration of an Asian fraternity party. Expecting to buy alcohol as a grade 12 student, I ended up at an Asian frat party. The confusion arose during a trip to California, where my friend and I, as groomsmen for a high school buddy's wedding, decided to spend a few extra days exploring San Francisco. After a day of exploring and having a lot to drink, we thought of taking an Uber pool back to our hotel. But in our tipsy state, we got off at the wrong place. As we tried to figure out what to do next, we saw people walking up to a house, putting in a code, and going inside where there was a party. My friend decided to take charge, quickly crossing the street as the door opened, and I followed suit. Once inside, we realized we had accidentally entered an Asian fraternity party from Berkeley. To fit in, we came up with a made-up story about knowing a guy from a Habitat for Humanity trip. Surprisingly, the party was actually in honor of a fraternity brother who had taken part in the trip. Even though we were two white guys in a crowd of Asian partygoers, we used our story to our advantage. The fraternity members raised their glasses to their fellow brothers' humanitarian efforts, and we smoothly became part of the celebration. In the end, this unexpected adventure turned into a night to remember, showing how thinking on your feet and adapting quickly can make unfamiliar situations enjoyable. It was a funny escapade that highlighted the unpredictability of life's adventures. These stories all share a common theme of accidentally belonging and successfully fooling others. Whether it's seamlessly fitting into a project team, unexpectedly joining a gaming tournament, outsmarting the system in military exercises, dealing with cool complexities at famous landmarks, or sneaking into a fraternity party, each tale demonstrates people's ability to adapt and improvise in various situations. These stories show the humor and complexities of life, where unintentional membership, clever tactics, and thinking on your feet can lead to surprising and amusing outcomes. They underscore the importance of being flexible, quick-witted, and having a good sense of humor when navigating life's unexpected twists and turns. In the next story, we will tell the unplanned champagne shower and the funeral mix-up. We continued to drink the free booze at the Asian party and played beer pong. As we started feeling increasingly out of place, we decided it was time to make our exit. However, my friend, known for making a memorable exit, felt we couldn't just leave quietly. He grabbed a champagne bottle, shook it vei. After a day of exploring and having a lot to drink, we thought of taking an Uber pool back to our hotel. But in our tipsy state, we got off at the wrong place. As we tried to figure out what to do next, we saw people walking up to a house, putting in a code, and going inside where there was a party. My friend decided to take charge, quickly crossing the street as the door opened, and I followed suit. Once inside, we realized we had accidentally entered an Asian fraternity party from Berkeley. To fit in, we came up with a made-up story about knowing a guy from a Habitat for Humanity trip. Surprisingly, the party was actually in honor of a fraternity brother who had taken part in the trip. Even though we were two white guys in a crowd of Asian partygoers, we used our story to our advantage. The fraternity members raised their glasses to their fellow brothers' humanitarian efforts, and we smoothly became part of the celebration. In the end, this unexpected adventure turned into a night to remember, showing how thinking on your feet and adapting quickly can make unfamiliar situations enjoyable. It was a funny escapade that highlighted the unpredictability of life's adventures. These stories all share a common theme of accidentally belonging and successfully fooling others. Whether it's seamlessly fitting into a project team, unexpectedly joining a gaming tournament, outsmarting the system in military exercises, dealing with cool complexities at famous landmarks, or sneaking into a fraternity party, each tale demonstrates people's ability to adapt and improvise in various situations. These stories show the humor and unbelievable of life, where unintentional membership, clever tactics, and thinking on your feet can lead to surprising and amusing outcomes. They underscore the importance of being flexible, quick-witted, and having a good sense of humor when navigating life's unexpected twists and turns. Another story is of the downtown marathon escape. One day, I forgot that a marathon was taking place downtown, passing right in front of my workplace. Unable to park anywhere remotely close due to the event, and already in trouble for being late a few times, I had to find a solution. Spotting the first open parking spot, I parked a few blocks away and started briskly walking to work. With less than a block left, a wave of runners rounded the corner and completely blocked my path to the office door. Determined to make it on time, I hopped a fence and started running with the marathon participants, making my way to the other side of the street without hindering anyone. Surprisingly, I made it to work on time, utilizing an unconventional route to navigate the unexpected marathon. Another is of the impersonation at the medical conference. During the college trip, as part of a school event, I noticed a big breakfast banquet for a medical conference in our hotel. Dressed in office attire and already attending academic talks, I looked the part. With confidence, I calmly went over, got food, and entered a large conference room where people were discussing medicine. Seamlessly blending in, I sat at a table, ate, and left without speaking to anyone. The experience highlighted the amusing scenario of accidentally finding oneself in a professional setting and successfully impersonating a participant. Now, the next story is about the unwanted Catholic confusion at camp. Growing up in an atheist household where religion was never a topic, I found myself at a camp where they asked about our religious affiliation. Not having a strong connection to any particular religion, I blurted out the only one I could name at the time: Catholicism. To my surprise, another girl at the camp was also Catholic, and suddenly we were declared best friends until the end of days. Sundays became a challenge as I had to learn all the rituals: verbal replies, kneeling, and standing up. The pressure to adhere to these practices, including the communion ritual, became an unexpected part of my camp experience. Another story is about the sneaky entrance at the film festival. While attending Sunderland's Film Festival outside a concert venue, I spotted a celebrity I admired. Casually striking up a conversation, I noticed security glancing in our direction. As the celebrity headed towards the concert entrance with his girlfriend, I followed without being noticed. The security guard, assuming I was with the celebrity, ushered me into the sold-out show. The unexpected turn of events allowed me access to a concert I hadn't planned on attending. In these stories, the theme of unexpected situations leading to memorable experiences persists. Whether it's an unplanned champagne shower, a mix-up at a funeral, an escape during a downtown marathon, an impersonation at a medical conference, or a sneaky entrance to a film festival, each tale showcases the unpredictable nature of life and the ability to navigate unexpected twists with humor and creativity. These anecdotes underscore the importance of adaptability and seizing opportunities, even in situations where one might feel out of place.